Now. I thought Lamont won. Who you thought won? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
Man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
That should have awarded Lamont Roach the fight. That he should have been the winner. He should have been the winner.
Boxing analysts and pros are calling out the judges after Lamont Roach's controversial fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Many believe Roach deserved better, with Luke Thomas even saying Roach is the best fighter Tank has faced so far. Despite the official result, Roach's stock has skyrocketed, proving his elite skill by giving Davis one of his toughest fights.
Man, Lamont told me he was the best opponent that Tank has faced. I don't think that that's wrong after today. I know some people were saying Pedraza. You could say Pedraza too, but for 5 snakes, Roach is better than I thought. All right? Okay, here we go.
Renowned boxer Terrence Crawford expressed his frustration on social media, stating, "They robbed that boy and it's crazy." Crawford's reaction highlights the controversy surrounding the fight's outcome and the perception of injustice toward Roach. Fans and fighters alike are slamming the scoring, with some claiming blatant robbery. Roach's performance showed his resilience, power, and IQ, forcing Tank into deep waters. Regardless of the decision, Roach has gained massive respect in the boxing world.
And then sticks his head out the ropes, gets a towel on it, and then gets back in there and is like, okay, now I'm good. And the referee's like, oh yeah, this is totally normal protocol. What the fuck was that? What was that? Dude, was that factored in? It doesn't appear that that was factored in, given the scores. That should have, and I'm being serious when I say this, that should have awarded Lamont Roach the fight. That he should have been the winner. He should have been the winner. That you take a fucking knee and then you stick your head out the ropes and the referee doesn't do anything? Dude, what are we talking about here? He elected, dude, what is the difference between that knee and the knee that Ryan Garcia elected to take? Ultimately, Ryan just stayed on his knee, but, would have counted the same way. He got on his knee. I don't understand that at all. So this result to me is actually really, really, really confusing. I'm not saying that there's, like, for example, you might respond, well, they'll just make the Shakur Stevenson fight anyway if they can. And that is a reasonable, totally, very, very plausible scenario that we could all see ourselves into. Fair enough. Okay, fine. You might say, well, they're going to do a rematch. Okay, I suppose they could do that. They might bring that one home. I wouldn't hate that, I guess. I'm happy for Lamont Roach.
In the aftermath of the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, former welterweight champion Sean Porter expressed his belief that round 9 should be a 10-8 round for Roach. Porter's assertion stems from a moment during that round when Davis appeared to take a knee, which many observers interpreted as a knockdown. In boxing, a knockdown typically results in a 10-8 score for the round, reflecting the significant advantage gained by the boxer who delivered the knockdown. Porter's viewpoint adds to the ongoing debate about the fight's scoring and the judges' decisions. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach expressed confidence in his performance, stating, "I got skills that pay bills, but I'm glad to show my skills. I think I won." This sentiment reflects his belief that he outperformed Davis and deserved the victory.
Reaper, Lamont Roach, had a tremendous performance, and this was a performance that this man knew he had in him. He had a confidence all week going into this fight, and you all saw why he had that confidence. A great performance, Lamont. I know you're frustrated because you wanted the win. You felt like you won. So just thoughts on the fight, and after having a couple of minutes to decompress, what are your thinking right now?
I mean, obviously I want to go back and watch it, but clearly in there, man, I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the motherfucking bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Observers noted that Roach seemed well prepared for Davis's strategies, anticipating his moves effectively. This preparation allowed Roach to execute a game plan that neutralized many of Davis's usual tactics, leading some to argue that the fight was not a draw and that Roach's performance was exceptional.
A draw? A draw. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. And I'm a Tank fan. My boy lost that fight tonight. It just seemed like Lamont knew everything Tank was gonna do. I'm not gonna sit here and say Tank didn't do anything right, because that would be a straight lie. Tank definitely had moments in this fight, but Roach surprised us all. You can definitely tell they know each other. I honestly just can't get over this though. Like, what was he doing? He's lucky they didn't count this. If they would have counted this, he would have definitely lost. Cal, I don't care what you have to do. I know you said you had a lot going on. You need to be back in the head training. But he was even screaming at you. I've never seen Tank yell at you before. Above all, man, shout out to Lamont. You definitely earned my respect tonight. I didn't even know you before this fight, but I know you now. We have to have a rematch. I already know what y'all about to say. Man, but comment below. I'm going to bed.
Boxing analyst Bennywell raised concerns about the judging in the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, tweeting, "From a true boxer's opinion, how do the judges not take in consideration the knee as a knockdown?" His statement reflects growing frustration over the controversial scoring and perceived bias in the fight. Former super middleweight contender Jaleon Love commented on the fight, asserting that Roach outboxed Davis and did enough to earn the victory. Love's perspective adds to the chorus of boxing professionals who believe the judge's decision was questionable.
Hey man, what'd you think? The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against your Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. The boxing fans won. And shit.
About the knockdown,
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, and it's through to a blunt punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. You touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, points, all different shit. So, you know, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown. But it is what it is. You can't let the cash cow go.
That's
You
the
filling out
business.
these arenas, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make
but
fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know the whole, they come from a great pedigree of boxing, and you've seen that tonight.
The initial rounds of the fight were closely contested, with both fighters having their moments. However, in the later rounds, some of Davis's supporters, who often praise his ring IQ, acknowledged that his strategic thinking appeared diminished during this bout. This shift allowed Roach to capitalize and potentially sway the fight in his favor.
Wasn't that some shit? Man, Lamont Roach did really good, man. It's hard for me to say this, but man, he could have won that fight. I mean, the first half of the fight was relatively close. And then, you know, Tank started picking it up a little bit, you know, like he does the ends of the rounds. He started like throwing some punches, landed some good shots. He busted open Roach's nose. But then when you thought like Tank was going to start taking over, this kid, Lamont, was, you know, every time Tank would land something, it's like almost as if he was there too long and he got countered with maybe even 2-3 better shots multiple times. I mean, it was like all night. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy right now. Very shocking. I wouldn't have been mad. And then the knee that he took, I thought it was because he didn't have his mouth guard in at first. And then it was because he said something was in his eye. Man, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm a big Tank fan. And I've always given him credit for his IQ in the ring. That was a low fucking lima bean IQ fucking moment for him. I want to see a rematch though. I think maybe Tank was sleeping on him a little bit. I'm not mad with the draw, but I wouldn't have been mad with Roach winning either. I thought they were going to still give it to Tank because he's the cash cow.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult openly stated that Roach was clearly robbed in the fight. His assertion reflects the frustration among many fans and analysts regarding the judge's decision, suggesting that Roach's performance warranted a win.
Mistakes. I told you, he doesn't, if you hit him hard, that's why I said Keyshawn would be a good fight for him. You got to hit him hard. Lamont hit him with good shots and rocked him a few times. That always slows down Tank. It did with Barrios. Power, you got to have power. He said, let's have a rematch back in New York. Brother, the fact that you're rematching Roach, the fact that you're rematching Roach, they robbed him. They robbed him. They robbed him. That is despicable. That's a 10-8. In what world is it not?
The general public expressed dissatisfaction with the draw, with many believing that Roach outboxed Davis, particularly in the second half of the fight. This sentiment underscores the widespread belief that Roach's technical prowess and strategy should have secured him the victory.
What type of bullshit is this? So the Lamont Roach and the Tank Davis fight ended in a draw, and I could not disagree more. We're just gonna get the obvious out of the way. Roach won the fight. It was a Stevie Wonder clear as day blind robbery. And that knee that Tank Davis took in the middle of the fight, he said he got some grease in his eye and his eyes started to burn when he got his hair done and shit like that. Which it wasn't counted as a knockdown, but we all know it damn well should have been counted as a knockdown. You are not an exception to the rule. And as for Lamont Roach, he just clearly outboxed Tank, especially in the second half of the fight. He was just outboxing him. Now, I'm not just saying Tank didn't just put up a fight. Oh, trust me, he put up a fight. They were both going at it, but he was just clearly a little bit better. The refs decided to make it a draw. Why? I don't know, because they probably want to keep Tank's record undefeated, and it's good for business because he's the bigger name. So clearly, if that fight wasn't rigged, Roach would have won the fight. He should have won the fight. He was the better boxer that night, and that's how I feel about it. Let me know who you guys think won.
Former world champion Abner Mares observed that Roach's performance was unexpected, even for Davis. Mares also noted that the incident where Davis took a knee should have been counted, implying a potential knockdown that wasn't officially recognized.
I thought Roach closed the last 2 rounds, and then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, so it should have counted, and those 2 points, like Roach said, it would have been on his favor and he would have won the fight. But I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will. And we get more of a clear victory for either side.
How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach, and how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best?
It was more. Reason? It was more. Yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that. He was catching the punches really well, took them well. Great combinations, and he just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And great great performance by Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis. He's got to fight more. It's not as consistent with the fighting, and again, the timing probably wasn't there for him this fight.
What does it say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as top 5, top 10 pound.
You know what that's going to say about Tank now. Obviously, people are going to talk shit, and people are going to put him, probably take him down on the pound for pound list, and it is what it is. But so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make a statement, if it's with him or whoever else.
And lastly, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is it Keyshawn, Shakur, Tank? Do you think he can still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just?
Lamont's definitely there. Lamont can fight any of these guys.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford voiced his frustration over the controversial decision, tweeting, "Roach won, and that should have been called a knockdown. Let's see what happens." His statement adds to the growing criticism from boxing pros who believe the judges ignored key moments that could have changed the fight's outcome. During the 9th round, Davis took a knee, which many professionals argue should have been ruled a knockdown. The judge's decision not to acknowledge this moment has been a focal point in discussions about the fight's scoring and overall outcome.
I am a Tank fan. I am a fan of Gervonta Davis, bro. My son could box his ass off and got power we've never seen before. You feel me? Or that's rarely seen in boxing. But Lamont Roach just got robbed, gang. Lamont Roach won that fight. I had Lamont Roach edging it 7-5, 7 rounds to 5. If you want to call it 6-6 down the middle, I'll take that. With the knee that Gervonta Davis took, that is supposed to count as a knockdown. I've never seen in all my life somebody take a knee in boxing and run to their corner and it not be scored as a knockdown. Never in my life. That has never happened. I don't know if the ref just forgot the rules. He listened to Tank's explanation and said, oh, that's cool, that's fine. We've never saw that before, bro. Shout out to Lamont Roach. I had him getting knocked out today going into the fight. You feel me? I didn't think he would be able to come up from 130 to 135 and handle Tank's power. You feel me? So like most people, I assumed that Tank was going to get him out of there. But I had it in the later rounds, around round 9. That was not the case. Lamont Roach boxed with him. He traded shots with him. He took Tank's power and dealt his power right back and fought an amazing fight, bro. And I had Roach edging that fight. I think he deserved the win. And the fact that this wasn't called and it was scored a draw is not fair. I think Lamont Roach deserved that fucking dub, gang. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Lightweight contender Isaac Cruz opined that Roach won the fight, emphasizing that Roach came well prepared and focused on his goal. Cruz's assessment adds weight to the argument that Roach's performance was superior.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todos los aficionados.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedaron a deber la caída a Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable, ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Some critics suggest that Davis's status as a lucrative draw in boxing influenced the judge's decision to call the fight a draw. They argue that acknowledging a loss for Davis could have financial repercussions, leading to a biased outcome despite Roach's commendable performance.
Tank Davis took an L tonight. Even if the fight ended in a draw, he still took an L. Lamont Roach Jr. fought a hell of a fight. He was disciplined. He picked his spots, and Tank Davis got off to a very slow start. And towards the end, I thought the last couple of rounds, Roach won those rounds. This is the biggest difference maker in how the fight went because the judges voted it a majority draw. This is the biggest difference maker in this fight. When Tank Davis took a knee, that didn't count as a knockdown. And after the fight, when they interviewed both fighters, Tank Davis said he just got his hair done and he had the grease going down his face and it burned his eye, and that's why he took a knee and went to the ropes, went to his corner. Tank Davis ended up winning that round. If that knockdown counted, because you never take a knee under no circumstances, you never take a knee. If that knockdown counted, Lamont Roach Jr. wins that fight. Major respect to Roach. He fought a great fight. This is the best I've ever seen somebody fight against Tank Davis, and this fight ending in a draw, that's an L for Tank. We all know what we saw. Roach won that fight.
Instead of acknowledging his performance, Davis attributed his struggles to external factors, such as hair products affecting his vision. This excuse has been met with skepticism and criticism from fans and analysts alike, who view it as a deflection from his in-ring performance.
Roach was putting belt to ass, okay? eye and his eye was burning. He just got his braids done. Really? Now, I will say that when you do get your hair done and you got all them products in your hair, it does burn your eyes. But I don't believe that. The braids didn't even look fresh, sir. Lamont Roach definitely put belt to ass. And it is absolutely crazy to me that when you're going up against the reigning champion, you damn near have to knock them the hell out, okay? In order to get that W. A lot of people said that he couldn't do it. Well, Davis ain't got no clean record no more. Because now he got that draw on his record. It's better than the L, but it ain't a W. Even when you're watching the fight, it's crazy how much deriding be going on. If you were listening to the commentators, how they were talking about Gervonta, they were like, yeah, Roach, you know, he better not slip up because, you know, Gervonta, it wasn't really until the end of the fight that they really started acknowledging how good Roach had been fighting throughout the fight. It's crazy because he was fighting good the whole fight. But they kept saying, yeah, you know, Gervonta, he finna come in. He finna, whoa, did you see that? Did you see? Whoa, look at Gervonta. And they wasn't doing none of that for Roach's landing shots.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.